Well folks, I ended up getting another tractor last week, and it's a John Deere 140, even though it has 316 on the hood. Someone had switched the hood on it. So we originally got this tractor for scrap, and it was in really tough shape when I got it. I'll throw in some pictures at the end of the video so you can see it. And rather than part it out or send it to the crusher, I ended up taking 3 to 4 days and getting it all back to running and revamped it, and I turned out with a really nice tractor. So, to start off with, the rear transmission, it is a hydrostatic hydrogear Sunstrand. It has the automatic transmission fluid in it, which I had changed twice already. This is the original stuff here. You can see it was pretty bad. It has the layer of sludge in the bottom. There was more than that, but I just kept it for the video. This is the stuff I recently changed, which had a little bit of water in it, so it was a little pink, and I know there was some chunks that came out in the bottom of that pail. And I just recently changed it today. So it's got the new filter and everything on there, so it's all ready to go, whether you can see it. So that's all set. It didn't have a seat on it when I got it, and I didn't have one that had the original bolt holes, so I rigged up these brackets here, welded them up. They just pinch on and holds the seat really nice. And the steering wheel, it's not the original, unfortunately. I wish, it'd be kind of nice to have the original John Deere steering wheel. And this was all bent over to the side like this, and the steering column was all pushed over. And you can see that the shift rod has been bent in. It's an H1, has the single hydraulic lever, and it also has the one brake pedal that operates both rear brakes and the clutch for the engine to the transmission. The model number is T0581, and the serial number is 003742M. So the nearest I can figure, with help from 1944 John Deere L on YouTube, which I thank you for the help, that this is about a 1968 140, which would be a first year. I'm still not too sure though, because it has some things on it that are kind of odd. But anyways, the wiring was in good shape for the most part. I replaced the PTO switch for the electric clutch. I also replaced the voltage regulator because the other one didn't work, so now it has a nice charge to it. The amp meter works nice too, so it does do well with the battery. The throttle and choke cables, those freed up nicely also, so those both work. And the gas tank I do have outside. I'm trying to clean it out now so I can get that back on. I have this temporary one for Tecumseh on here now. Now as for the engine, I had the head off this. It's been bored 10 over, and unfortunately has a very bad rod knock, which it's not really that loud, but when you listen to it on video, it's actually knocking pretty good. So I'm going to have to do something about that probably this winter. I'll end up pulling it apart, hopefully, if I get the time. So I was missing the side shroud over here, which I had this off an old Cub Cadet engine, so that fit on there perfectly. Worked out nice. I was also missing the carburetor because that got snapped off of it. So I put another one on. It's a 16 horse carburetor. It's from a Kohler 16. And the air cleaner is actually from a John Deere that I had in a parts slot a while back. So that worked out good. And as for the tires, those are all flat, so ended up tubing both the back ones, which these have the 10.5 inch wide ones with the 12 inch rims. Tubed the one in the front here, and this is an old tire off one of my Aaron's, the Aaron's loader. So that one didn't have to have a tube because it's in good shape still. Now, as for the stuff about it, like I said, it's got the one brake pedal. It has an H1 because it has the single shift rod for the hydraulics, but it also has the lines. They are run through to the front. I don't know if you can see them. They're right there. There's 2 of them, and they stop right about here, and they're plugged off. Now this front piece here isn't like the ones that I usually have been trying to find online. I can't find anything that matches this because most of them go over and up like this, and they recess in where these lines go in. Whereas this one's just flat, and both of them are plugged off on each side. And the grill also isn't your traditional wavy grill that you can, pull over and come out. And it doesn't have the big square opening either. This has got 2 square openings like this. It also has this perforated metal, which I think someone did put in here for a grill. That would be my best guess because it doesn't look original. So it does kind of have an odd front end on it. It also has the elongated hole for where the muffler comes out. So I like to find the original 140 hood at some point with the 140 light bezel that goes over here, the 120. So hopefully I can come across that at some point. I'm trying to look for one now. So far I haven't had any luck. And like I said, where the steering was bent, for those of you who know these steering boxes, there's a bolt that's welded to a flange that moves like this, that moves your tie rod. Somehow that got snapped off. So I think this tractor was rolled from what I was told. So you can see there. So I got that out of there, and I put in just a regular old bolt. I didn't weld it to the plate though, because I know I'm going to have to service that box, because you can see that the shaft is all loose, and this pipe here is bent around that clip. Well, it hasn't bent around it, but it's loosened up because it's been bent. It's decreased in size. So I'm going to have to work on that at some point. But it does, like I said, it does run nice. Aside from the knock, I have pulled a couple wagon loads of leaves with it over the past while, so I'll give it a start up and hopefully it'll fire. It does run kind of funny though. That's not too bad. Sometimes it's kind of hard to start. You can see it's charging. And you can probably hear the knock when I throttle up. Pretty prominent. And the lights. The rear lights I haven't hooked up yet. This one does work, but I do need a ground wire for it because these fender pans are on rubber grommets, so I'm going to have to get one of those at one point, all rigged up and all set. So anyways, I figured I'd show you guys that. There you have it, folks. The 1968 John Deere 140.